is America bipolar? Because every 8 years, every 4 to 8 years, the pendulum swings left to right, Republican to Democrat. When's the last time we've had consecutive Democrats in office or consecutive Republicans in office? To Pat's point, in 2016, Hillary didn't campaign in the Midwest. Right. She took it for granted. Trump came in. He was all over Michigan, all over Ohio, all over Iowa. Boom. Shocker alert. He won the election. 2020, the blue wall held, as they say, and Biden won the election. But every 4 to 8 years, the pendulum swings.
I think it's because hope springs eternal, right? Someone else said this. Mm-hmm. So basically, at any given point, after a certain number of years that someone is in power and my pocketbook is not doing well or whatever it is that I'm upset about, then the only thing that triggers in my head, why don't I switch now and go with the other folks? Maybe they have, but that's the
change. A change agent, right?
Change agent, right? So, one of the things that I found out in studying decision making for 30 years is that we are far from being sort of the hyper rational creatures that we are otherwise made out to be by classical economists, right? Classical economists have this view called homo economicus. Homo economicus means ultra rational. You apply these decision-making procedures, you maximize utility. Whereas in reality, when you study human decision-making, we're ultra non-rational, right? We choose someone based on their height as a politician. Well, what does your height have to do with your policies? But you simply look more presidential if you are tall.
We haven't had a president under 6 foot in forever.
Well, by the way, whenever someone tells me, hey, why don't you run for prime minister? I say, sorry, I'm too short to be prime minister. It doesn't matter what's in here. The fact that I don't clock in at 6 feet, I'm out.
But it is a thing.
It is a thing because people use these peripheral cues.
Right.
If I'm tall, that means I'm dominant, I'm to be trusted, right? By the way, CEOs of companies are taller than average, right? So the Napoleon Bonaparte, who was 5'4", is a very rare phenomenon. Most elected people, whether it be as a CEO or as a president, are tall.
Well, what's the story with Nixon and JFK in that debate? If you listened on radio back in 64 or whatever it was, 61,
exactly right.
If you listened on radio, you thought Nixon won the debate.
Exactly.
But if you watched on TV, because I think it was the first televised debate, right, Pat? JFK won the debate because he was more polished. He looked better.
Exactly right.
Nixon was a little more disheveled, kind of bearded, 5 o'clock shadow. So attractiveness does matter.
Yeah, exactly right.
So then that means Joe Biden is sexy as hell. he's hotter than Leo and
he's
Brad
hotter
Pitt.
than the Orange Man, I guess.
That's hotter than the Orange Man.
Yeah, somebody just commented saying whether you vote Rockefeller red or Rockefeller blue, in a new world order, the joke's on you, right? I mean, I don't know what that. Obviously, we know what the guy's trying to insinuate, but
and he rhymed too. Congratulations.
Yeah, Smedley Butler, good for you, man. Total rapper. But you're saying all this stuff about where it's at and what's happening, but again, for me, my confidence and peace of mind of the future being bright is this new movement of people who are able to reason. Because if we go through the sequencing on how I believe it happens, first there's a complainer. When there's a complainer, the guy that has the ability to reason, he's got better things to do than to argue with the complainer, okay? So then the complainer all of a sudden creates momentum, and he recruits 8 people. 22 people, 79 people, 328 people. Now he's got 1,200 people. Then the guy who's got the ability to reason sitting there saying, dude, this guy's creating some momentum. Then the complainer starts converting some of the people that the guy who has the ability to reason thought they used to be reasonable, okay? Then he says, I got to now get involved. Then the guy that has the ability to reason and he's got a backbone gets involved and start talking and reasons through all these issues. Then those people say, yeah, I forgot. I'm a guy that leans more towards a reasonable side. This complainer, you don't know what you're talking about. I flip. I think there's a big awakening of people that can reason today. I think that's what's happening. And it's exciting because most people that have the ability to reason and they're driven by logic and they can have an argument and kind of go through and listen to both sides, they're typically so busy living their lives. They have no tolerance or time to go and fight every single battle. Complainers want to fight every battle. Those who want to reason, they don't have that kind of time.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.